Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining in. This is an off-the-mat chat with Yoga on Kibby, and we are here with Michigan Tribe. Thank you guys for joining me. We are here at Lean Rocket Labs. So this is downtown Jackson.
Yeah.
And this is where before I start to talk about that, I'm gonna have you guys introduce yourself. Will you tell us about Michigan Tribe and who you are?
Yep. So my name is Amanda Loveland. This is Alex Maston. Michigan Tribe is a nonprofit organization that provides events and funding for female entrepreneurs and women business owners right here in Jackson.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Maston, like she said, I am the other half of the leadership team along with Amanda. And we're excited to be here with Kate and talk a little bit about what we do and support you in your campaign.
Yeah. All right, guys. So like I said, we're downtown Jackson right now, and I feel like we're on the Today Show or something.
It happens.
Like,
I know, right?
There's people lined up outside. We had to put up, the sheets.
The blinders and
People couldn't.
I'm sure we'll get some of those people.
So we're here to talk about Michigan Tribe. First of all, will you guys just will you let everyone know what Michigan Tribe is? You just gave a kind of a little introduction, but maybe a little bit more on that.
Yeah, so what it looks like, I'll let Alex talk about the funding. I'll talk a little bit about the events.
Sounds good.
But Michigan Tribe started because I used to be a business and a life coach, and a friend here in Jackson knew that I had done that when I was closing down my business. She said, hey, will you come over to my house? I'll invite some girlfriends over who are running businesses, and let's just have a conversation about work and about business and supporting each other. We had that conversation and absolutely loved it. It helped us all. We grew from it. And so we decided every month that we would start meetings together and asking two primary questions. What are you working on, and what can we do to help? And a year into doing that, we decided we needed to invite more women to the conversation. And so we started doing every other month in 2019. Every other month we get together and we have literally just a group of women sitting around in a circle asking, what are you working on and how can we help? And we started to add in additional resources. So we do panel discussions where people do, they talk about marketing or sales or financial management or mental health, or I'm trying to think of some of the other topics that we've done. Balancing, like especially for women, you have families and you're running a business, and oftentimes we have jobs on the side. Preaching the choir up in here. And so we have panel discussions, and we just have general non-traditional networking events where we sit around in a circle and support each other. So that's really what our events look like right now. During COVID, they look a little different. We're having to change and make it work, but that's typically what we try to make happen. And then we also do funding.
We fund, and I don't know if this is an upcoming question, but I can talk about it now. We do offer micro grants, and we have two funds that we ask donations for. One is called Women Rise, and that is available for all women business owners in Jackson County. They can apply to that. And then we have the Melanated Voices Fund, which is for brown and black women. And any woman who is black or brown and is a female entrepreneur in Jackson County can also apply to that fund. So they have two options. And every year in the fall, we give that money away as a micro grant. And this past year for 2020, we gave almost $8,000 away to 5 female business owners. And we can hope to continue to do that every year. Yeah, I know one.
I was one of them. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to bring you guys onto this is to kind of talk about that. I think coming from my perspective as a small business owner and knowing nothing. I was like, I'm gonna start a business and I know absolutely nothing. Connecting with you guys you ladies was one of the things that really got me on my feet. So I want people to know that you don't have to be very, very knowledgeable about opening a business, but there's people out there who will support you and will help you and connect you with people and show you the way.
Well, I mean, the secret sauce to Michigan Tribe is that we don't know what we're doing either, but that's the truth is that everyone in the room doesn't know what they're doing, but everyone knows a little bit about something.
Right.
And so that's what we really focus on the community. We focused on the community knowledge, and as we've gone along, Alex and I have become more knowledgeable so we can answer more questions. But at the start, Alex was actually attending an event. She sat in that chair at our first event and asked a question about social media.
Okay.
I was having panic attacks because I didn't want to be public and I didn't want to be like a knowledgeable go-to person in the community for business. Like we were freaking out. We knew nothing. So the Michigan Tribe really, we still focus and lean on the community and the knowledge. So when
and the resources.
you're going to become a funding expert of sorts because you know a little bit about running an Indiegogo campaign. So when you attend an event and a girl's considering doing that, they'll get to lean on your knowledge. So we really focus on just the community as a resource, and we try to know a little bit about something.
And then we bring the other women who have knowledge about other things in. And so that's what makes, I think, our events so special is the community network and the resources that are provided in that small circle of women.
And in Jackson, we're a very lucky community because people deeply care about businesses succeeding in Jackson. I know it's hard out here in these streets right now. I get that. But at the same time, Jackson is just a place where people deeply care about the success of the people in it.
I agree. I'm feeling that right now for sure. If someone was interested in Michigan Tribe, so someone knows nothing about it, how can they become involved? Say they have a small business, probably that's why they might be interested. How can they become involved in Michigan Tribe? And then maybe what are some of the things that you can offer for them?
So this is live, so you can come to Lean Rocket Lab and wave at us. We'll walk outside and like hang out with you and give you some resources.
This is where we are all the time. So you can always come here and ask for us.
We're going next door to have dinner, so come join us.
Cheers, by the way. Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Absolutely. And this is a little more of a laid back.
Oh gosh, I always forget.
Chat.
Sorry. Cheers.
Yeah, we're just
so this is an evening off the mat chat. Usually, it's in the afternoon, and we're sipping our green tea. But we've progressed to this point in the evening. So.
That's true. But we are MichiganTribe.com is our website. We highly recommend that everyone get on the early access list there because that's where you get the first passable time when you can buy tickets and learn about microgrants. That goes out to the early access list. So at MichiganTribe.com, they can sign up for that. And we also have an Instagram at Michigan Tribe. That's our main platform. We have Facebook and all that jazz, but Instagram is where we hang out for the most part. And then what are the first resources you would say that we offer to people when they,
Well, I think going back to the email list and how important the email list is because Amanda and I have day jobs. We work full time for other companies, and my job is an economic developer. And so a lot of the resources that come down for small businesses come through my office. And so anytime I hear of something, especially for women in small business, I always make sure that we email that out. So all resources, any support that you can get, especially right now during this whole craziness that we're in as far as this pandemic, will always come through our email. Just, we can't always meet in person, but the email right now, I think, is where it's at.
The email list she's talking about is really, there's a whole list of like COVID relief grants that were available to small businesses, which is really helpful for people right now specifically. A little note on the email, if you guys, we talked about this prior.
We did. We talked about that.
If you are part of their email list, check your spam box because unfortunately you might be getting, it might be getting put into the spam box, and you definitely, this is a gem. You do not want it to be in the trash behind.
Kate knows because she experienced that.
I experienced that firsthand where there was grants that were available, but it was from January, and I checked it today, so I was really not.
Shoot.
But now that this is the present, so that is the past.
So you kind of get inside information. Before a lot of people hear about it. So I think the email list and getting on the first access list is number one.
Can you guys tell us, I have a question about the grants. Where do you get funded? How do your grants
good question. I can answer that. Okay. It comes from pounding the pavement and asking people for money. Right now. So give a little backstory. Indiegogo, go fund her, which I'll probably that'll lead into the next thing I want to say is back in 2020, or 2019, actually, we started planning our first major fundraiser, which was going to be adult prom. Some of you may have heard about it. Or bought tickets. And then COVID hit. And the event was supposed to be 250, 300 people, right? And so we had to cancel it. And like any entrepreneur, you have to pivot and adapt. And so Amanda and I decided, okay, that's canceled. So we're just going to have to hit the pavement and ask people for money. We went to credit unions and CP Federal, now True Community Credit Union was a major sponsor for us. And we give so much thanks if you are watching, anybody from CP. True. And we also went and all ticket sales, if you come to an event or you do something, all of that money goes into the micro grant. Amanda and I don't make a dime. We are true volunteers of this organization, and every penny that somebody gives us goes into that micro grant fund. And so that's how we make our money. I personally donate every year, or I donated last year, my personal money. I saved a certain amount of money and I put that, and I plan to do that every year because I am so passionate about the mission and the people that we're helping that I feel like every dollar I can save towards that means something to somebody else. One thing I want to say about right now in the economy that we're in for women, it is extremely important to fund female businesses right now. One, because 5.4 million jobs were lost by women because of this pandemic. That's half of all jobs lost. They're calling it a she session, meaning a recession for women. And so I think it's extremely important for people to understand that the women who have lost their jobs are starting these businesses because there's nowhere else to go. And maybe they're taking this idea that they've had for years and they're just hoping that it works. We need to support our Jackson County small businesses, especially run by women right now, because it's the bread and butter of our community. I mean, it's right now it's more important than ever.
And less likely, so there's so many things we could talk about related to this, but women are less likely to be able to walk into a bank and have a traditional loan given for a variety of reasons that we don't even have the time to get into, but they're less likely to have that resource. And so it's also our responsibility to support campaigns like Kate's Indiegogo campaign, to buy from businesses like we're decked out in apricot linen gear and darling earrings right now. And it's extremely important not just to buy from those people, but to give them money. And we experience that too as Michigan Tribe, but we want our women to succeed. So if women give directly to that business or they give directly to Michigan Tribe, it doesn't necessarily matter to us. We just want women to have the money they need to succeed.
And the other thing is that Amanda actually shared this with me. It was a fantastic short video from an accelerator. I can't remember where it was.
The
Massachusetts, or
it's like Mass Accelerator or Mass Connect. Mass Challenge is what it's called.
And they basically did a study that most people will, like, half of them will not invest in women, more than their male counterparts, but
twice as many men receive $1 million in funding.
But women have a 10% more return on the investment than men.
So they're getting half as much money, but they're making more with it.
And so I think, again, it's important to fund female entrepreneurs because you're going to turn that money around and turn it into something, whether that's something good for the community or that's actual money. I mean, whatever that may be, I think that's another statistics that just blows my mind.
Absolutely. Shout out to all women.
I know. I know.
I was noticing, we noticed this before. We're all not by choice. I didn't call
each other
earlier, but we all have, the female, what do you have on your
empowerment?
Babes support babes. The future female. This is Women Unite Chicago. So a lot of women doing great things.
Go ladies.
So we talked about the grants and where you get the money from, or not you, but you know what I mean? And then the other aspect of Michigan Tribe is that's really fun and exciting. Grants are fun and exciting. Yes.
Free money is fun.
They're actually really, really fun.
Free money is fun.
But the networking events and the networking, they're not just parties. They're not just hangouts. They're really, they are.
Just a little bit.
But they're really effective as far as connecting women business owners, and just I've seen this personally, coming to your events, connecting with other people who run businesses, and then the support from them, and then the connections that we make. Can you talk a little bit about the networking events?
I would definitely talk about what makes us unique.
So I would say that we don't like to call ourselves a networking organization or that we host networking events, mostly because our generation of women, that's a massive turnoff. Going up to traditional.
I didn't know that. We'll change the word.
Yes, and it's okay. There's no other really good way yet to say it, but we consider ourselves a community of women growing businesses together far more than we consider ourselves a networking organization, because traditional networking events, quite honestly, are lame. They're outdated. You walk in the room, you wear a name tag, you don't know anybody. You're like, hi, who are you? What do you do? You give a business card and you walk away. And we don't do that.
I've never been to one, only theirs.
Yeah.
So awkward.
And they're awkward and uncomfortable. And I think it's, number one, a generational difference, but number two, it's inauthentic in many ways. The old way of doing things is like, make sure you have your elevator pitch. And I'm not saying old way, like don't do that, because there are some situations where that's really valuable. But we don't want to be a place where women come and try to sell to each other. Not that selling is bad,
right?
But selling is a great thing. But we want to help women be great at sales to their true customers, to people out in the community. And we want a safe place for women to come and learn how to sell better, learn how to market better, learn how to fund better, learn how to grow, learn about things like trademarking and
things you don't think
prototypes, things that you're like, I am thinking about starting this and I have no idea what it even means. A safe place for you to come and ask any question. In addition to that, we want a safe place where women can come and ask questions about diversity and inclusion, about making sure that they're being considered about the LGBTQ plus community when they're doing the marketing. And those are really hard conversations. Those aren't conversations that are taking part in traditional networking events. No. So we really are just having meaningful conversations with other women business owners. That's what our events are about. In addition to that, we really try to focus on, we battle with the concept of collaboration over competition, because we've talked a lot about this. We think we really want to help women to actually be more comfortable with competition, because competition's a great thing. Oftentimes two males or just two people who identify as he, him, will have a personality that's more likely to be like, oh, like you're doing what I'm doing, I'm going to beat you. And they're like still friendly about it. And women are actually really catty towards each other. There's a lot of hate towards each other. They won't come. We face this all the time. People are like, I will not come to your events because I'm afraid that my competitor will be there. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you come there and try to compete? Like, all your people are there. So, we're trying to normalize competition about women, but I will say that collaboration is a huge thing that happens. Social media giveaways, a lot of times our girls collaborate and make sure that they're increasing their social medias together. A lot of our girls will come together and realize, we have a lot of people from the wedding industry, so they'll come in and they'll have easier people to contact.
I've seen that specifically happen with a lot of people. I know the wedding collaboration and the photography and the makeup.
Yep.
And that whole.
And we think it's way cool because both women are benefiting,
really
and not only that, but we want other women to recommend other women. We just want to have a community that's supportive. One of our biggest pieces, like one of the biggest visions that we have, is to make a place here in Jackson where women want to start and grow businesses, where people actually move their families away from the towns that they're in to come to Jackson because it's an ideal place to start and grow a business and be an entrepreneur. And so a piece of that for us, for the women in our community, is a place where women really support each other and go, oh, like you're starting a business, we got you, girl. Like here's people to know, here's where to go. We'll send you recommendations, show us your social media, we'll give you feedback. We want a place where women know each other as business owners and can support.
Right, and that's all of that she just said is all true, because I have felt every single one of those things, all of the support, so many things. I'm not.
One thing I will say though is it is still a party. We have a great time. It's not formal in any way. It's very informal, but I feel like it's informal in the best way possible, because you're always leaving with something more than you came with.
Right.
So at least I am.
So you ladies are clearly passionate about this. Yeah. I want to ask you two questions. One question. We'll start off with one.
Okay.
How did you decide to do? Were you inspired? What inspired you to do this?
Well, Amanda and I have been doing this. Well, Amanda,
she's my sister, and I was like, "You're doing this with me."
But you and I have worked together since 2015. Yeah, Amanda ran a virtual school similar to this. She wrote curriculum for it. It was her business. She's trained as a personal life coach. She has all of that background knowledge to help somebody
She's also a yoga teacher too, right?
She's also a yoga teacher, certified. So, and I go to her class and I love it. So, and I will go to Kate's too. And I'm excited because you're right near my house. But Amanda took all of that, learned a lot from that experience. She was going through a personal.
And closed it down.
She was going through a personal thing, and she just decided this isn't for me anymore. And so, and I was working for her part-time, so we were doing this already on a virtual platform. And so when she closed it down and she's like, I don't want to do this. And then this other like small group started, and I came to that first meeting, and I was dipping my toe in the photography at that time. That was 2019. I hadn't done any sort of anything with my photography. I was doing it behind the scenes, and nobody was seeing my work really.
Right. And Alex came and asked,
and I said,
do this without social media because I hate it.
Yeah, and I said, how can I do this without social media? Which was, you can't if you're a photographer, right? But from there, it was like all the people that she was doing this with kind of fell off. Mm-hmm. And and she asked me, but an opportunity. I mean, I already do this work anyway, so why not just do it on the next level with her? Right. And then it just kind of, honestly, we've just tried to be keeping up with it since. It's really been
We're trying to
ahead
keep
of
up
us.
With the community's requests and what they need.
Yeah. So you guys are growing as your small business. It's become, you even have an intern. Shout out to Jordan behind
Jordan. And our camera crew right here too. Shout out.
So another question that I was going to ask is, so how did you get inspired, and then what continues to drive you?
Such a good question. And I was actually going to lead into that.
I know that you're going to hit like adversity and just like hardship, and like this is probably for small business owners everywhere.
Yeah.
What keeps you moving? What keeps you positive?
I can totally say for me, it's the connections. I literally have made a whole new group of friends because of this. It's amazing, this community. I can't give up. I can't give up on my friends. I can't give up on this community, and I can't give up on all the women who haven't even started their business yet, but just has the idea in their head, and they don't even understand how successful they could be. They're just doubting themselves. Right. It's like inspiring women to understand that even if you're scared shitless.
Are we allowed to swear? We should have asked that before we started, because
this is the adult version.
Okay, good, because we do.
Even if you're scared to death, feel the fear and do it anyway. If it's something that makes you happy, feel it and just freaking do it. And I just want to get that word out to like every freaking woman I can get my hands on, because so many women just doubt that.
And then that kind of like goes right into my next question. What would you say to someone who is fearful or who is like intimidated, or maybe like they just don't know the step to take?
Sure.
Guys, personally, women, ladies, everyone who is watching, I was really nervous to start my business, and then these ladies approved a grant for me, and that kind of like pushed me through the door, and I had no choice.
I have to do this.
Someone gave me money, and I told them
I was really thinking, I can't do this. Who of me? Why me? Why should I do this? I can't do this. But
look at you, girl.
Resources. I don't have. I don't know.
Look at you. Look at you, though.
What would you say to someone who was feeling the way that I was feeling, that could kind of give them a little
push,
nudge? Yeah.
I would say good. You should be scared. This is hard. And I say that with the utmost support and grace that I possibly can to women who are considering, but it's hard. There's a lot of the times, as Alex mentioned, I had an online school for entrepreneurs at the time, and I helped women in their 20s and 30s to make money doing something that they really loved. And one of the things I really learned is a lot of the times that entrepreneurs come to the entrepreneur game or the business game because they want more freedom with their money and their time. You're not going to have that. So I hope you're scared. You're going to sacrifice that. And if you're not willing to do that, or if you're not in a place where you can do that, then I think you should be thinking not just twice, but 10 times before you start. And with that being said, I also think you should dip your toe in, like Alex did. Whether it's coming to Michigan Tribe events, or if you're not local, coming to, I think the Chicago group does things too, if you're in Chicago,
This is Women Unite Chicago.
Oh, wonderful.
We interviewed Sterling from Women Unite Chicago from their Off the Mat chat.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Very similar to what you guys do.
Amazing.
We're connected to a group in Nashville. So if you're down south, we're connected to a group in Detroit. If you're over on the other side of the state, I mean, we're connected to a lot of groups that are doing this. Not to say that, you're right next door to one that you need. But I do think that you should explore what it means to be an entrepreneur and business owner before you start, because I think a lot of times people think it's one thing and it's the complete opposite. It's similar to parenting or marriage. And you're committing to something for a very long time, or you're also risking that you could fail in a bigger way than you could ever possibly imagine.
Right.
My first business failed. I chose to close it down, but guess what? That came with a huge financial burden.
Right.
And so you're taking on a lot of risks. So I say, good, you should be scared. Once you explore it, if you're still certain, then go ahead and go all in.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, there's some people who are going to be like, I want to do it tomorrow. Like, you're going to learn and grow as you go. I can't, my first business was like that. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. But yeah, I say the biggest message I would tell women is like, good, I want to scare you away. I want to scare more women away. So I'm honest with them.
You know, Amanda and I are the opposite.
It's really tough.
No.
I've never seen this side of it.
Yeah, but I've
Truthfully,
had a
it's
full
scary.
cycle of business, and
it's true.
Alex
It's
is
true.
new to the entrepreneur game, so we have different,
So we have different
very different
insights.
perspectives.
Yeah, different insights.
Yeah.
But I think the next step should be come to a Michigan Tribe event,
Yeah.
sign up for the newsletter, sign up for whatever.
Yes.
That should be the next step.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone, she said to sign. I'm sure you heard her. I don't need to translate, but
No, you're
you should really, really come to the Michigan Tribe events. They're so
Absolutely.
helpful. And even if I feel like I'm more of, I go through phases of being introverted and extroverted. So if for anybody that feels more introverted, people are so welcoming at the events. If you don't know anyone,
too, by the way, that little voice that's like, I don't want to go tonight. We have it too, and we have to.
We
be
do.
there.
Like maybe I can,
we get it. And we're like everybody else. By the time we leave, we're like, oh my gosh, that was
So
awesome
glad.
and so worth it.
Yeah.
I do want to add to my response too, and I think Alex would agree with this. One of the things we're really passionate about is when you do opt to start a business, we suggest that women don't just aim to bootstrap, but instead to actually ask for funding through grants, through non-traditional pitch competitions, through non-traditional loans, or through funding like you're doing through Indiegogo.
Right.
Because it is hard. It is really hard, and money helps. Women have this little voice that says we have to prove that we can do it alone. And we think that you should really pause that voice and be like, okay, that's going to be great. And that's going to make you scrappy and resourceful, but don't try to do it completely alone without at least attempting to ask for
help.
Right.
Ask for
Absolutely.
help.
It's going to make you more successful in the long run.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're
And there's
asking
so much
for-
money on the table to be had.
Right. We're doing, was she talking about the Indiegogo? We're doing, a lot of you probably know that we're doing a crowdfunding campaign through Indiegogo, which has been mind-blowing right now. We're getting a lot of support and it's really exciting. I'm going to transition into a little, I wanted to talk about this because I did an Instagram takeover for you guys, and I just did a little,
great job too.
I dropped in that we had gotten a little adversity with that. We had started with Kickstarter, and it didn't end up working out with Kickstarter. And it was, we had built like a whole campaign, a marketing. We did like a bunch of like not funding, but we paid for ads and things, and we set up like an interview with Bar Holly, and then this based on something that we thought was going to happen. And then instead of just being like, I'm going to close the yoga studio, this isn't working, we had to pivot. And my husband was really helpful. Yeah. So overnight, basically, we, instead of launching something on a certain date, we redid a whole entire project. Andrew, 90%, me 10. No, we shared. We redid a whole project and used an alternative crowdfunding campaign, which has been amazing. Indiegogo has rocked our world.
How much are you up to?
I don't know. I'm going to say $6,000. We might be a little bit away, but
That's so exciting.
Every bit helps. So it's so women who are looking, anyone who is looking to run a small business, Agma did a Kickstarter and they went through the roof with that.
And I just want to swap the tables because I think sometimes that you're doing a really great Indiegogo campaign and you have perks that people receive, but I also think it's important that people understand what they're giving money to. Like the money that someone gives you, like what does it help you to do in your yoga studio?
That's a really good question. Yeah. So we are going to redo the whole place. I mean, we are doing redoing the floors and we are redoing the lighting. We've painted just the whole interior. Oh, we have a video we would like to show you. Oh, okay. We'll show it to you in a little bit.
Yeah.
So Dave, who is also behind the scenes, we have the dream team behind us right now. We have a whole dream.
One thing I was going to say is make sure you have a supportive mate or don't have one at all. Because
you need them. They're going through it with you. Yeah. Dave Buchanan filmed the video actually for that we were going to show you in a little bit.
Great.
So it was really helpful. This is
Yeah, so like the actual transformation of the space, because people don't think about that. Like they get to come to a yoga class and pay $15 or $20 to come to a yoga class, but they don't think about the fact that it costs you $15,000 to make that space available for that $15.
Right. So, and other things, we want to heat that place really good.
Yeah.
So things,
hot yoga.
yeah, I don't want to say we're going to use it to pay our electricity bill, but we're going to keep the building operating and keep the building nice and inviting and warm and welcoming.
Yeah.
And this is our video. I really think it's important to have a physical space because of the connection, the community, the sangha of the yoga practice. So to be in person with people and finding that kind of energetic connection, the idea of sangha is people on the same like-minded journey. I've been teaching yoga in Jackson for maybe 7 years, so I popped around to a couple different studios, and then yoga and brunch at Grand River has been a really fun class. Shout out to Grand River. And then pop-up classes around town with different studios. When the pandemic hit and we started doing Sunday yoga with Kate, it made me realize that there's a huge need for yoga. People need yoga. The world needs yoga right now. So we'll be doing privates. We'll be doing yoga workshops. We'll have teachers from all over the community hopefully come in and do specific unique classes. So things like restorative yoga, therapeutic yoga, partner yoga, basics, music, even sound healing. So a whole lot of things that we can bring to the studio in a shared space with people. So our studio is located in Jackson, Michigan. It's on Kibby Road, right next to Kibby Cobb Market. So we're gonna do a build out with the studio. We're gonna put a floor in. We're gonna add really nice lighting, dimmer lighting, so we can turn the lights down low, kind of manipulate the ambiance in the studio. So I'm really excited that we're gonna have a website and online registration. So really seamless class schedule, really easy to navigate ways to sign up, especially during COVID. You have to pre-register, so it's like one click to register. Payments are taken on the website. We have a really clear and concise way to look at what classes you'll want to take. So I need your guys' help to bring this studio to Jackson for you. So if you can help by sharing this video, tell a friend, donate to the Kickstarter. There's lots of great rewards on it. So things like class packages, private sessions, t-shirts, yoga mats. Thank you guys for participating in the Kickstarter. Hopefully we will see you all soon in the studio. That was it. That was the video. Thank you, Dave. That was a beautifully produced.
It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yes.
Yeah, we're really, the support that we've gotten with that has been amazing.
Yeah.
So proud of you.
I'm really curious too. I mean, seeing that video and all that we're talking about, because I know we're going to have Q&A a little bit. If there's people watching who are trying to fund a business, like what strategies they're using, or if they're not using any, what questions they have so they can fund. Yeah,
I'd love to take questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in a little bit, we're going to do a Q&A. I want, since this is an off-the-mat chat, it's all things mindful and yoga-y. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. So I want to ask you ladies, I know that you're a yoga teacher and you are a yoga student as well.
Yes.
And yoga is the real short, it's the clearing of the mind, right? So what do you do?
She took a deep breath because she's
terrible. Do a really great big deep breath in. And let it out. And just that right there is a nice tool to quiet the mind and slow down the heart rate. When you don't have a second for that breath, I hope you always do if you don't make time. When you're really busy and you're really going and really excited and things are coming from everywhere, what tools do you use to quiet the mind or just take a bit of like resting period?
You want me to start?
Yeah, because I'm terrible at it. So you go.
I find for myself in my yoga practice, which I really found a deep meaning in yoga when I left a job that I hated. And I was transitioning, and that was about 6 years ago. And for me, when I get like that, for some reason, child's pose and the third eye, pressing into that helps relieve my tension and my anxiety, and also doing any sort of sort of hanging pose where I'm where I'm hanging. Yeah, because for me, it feels like it releases those thoughts in my head into the earth, and it's very cleansing for me. So those two things are what I use all the time, on top of breathing.
I love it. So she's talking Pakti Pahaja Bhavanam.
Oh my gosh, Kate, you're like this. Amazing.
Intention, right? So if
Yes.
you're like having a very, like, not just physically flipping upside down, but the physical flipping of
Yes.
the body.
It helps me greatly.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's a really tough question for me. I think I'm that kind of dramatic energy person. So I have depression and anxiety undoubtedly. So I tend to, when I'm going and I'm anxious. And when I'm slowing down, I'm like sleeping and depressed. You know, I'm like back and forth. So it takes a lot of work. Yeah, it takes a lot of work to find balance in there. And it's like infrequent. And when it's there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I might eat cake and celebrate with champagne. Like, this is amazing. You know, like, I've arrived. Then I'm like, wait, cake will change that. So it's a whole thing. But I will say for me, serving others tends to center me. So that's why I actually love teaching yoga. I have to be mindful about making sure I'm receiving yoga too. I'll kind of know when I've reached my point because I'm really disconnected from either students or just from like knowing what people need. Or we have a yoga tribe in Grass Lake that comes like every week. And so I feel very intuitively connected to those yogis. And whenever I don't deliver a good class to them or didn't feel connected, I'll know it's time for me to receive yoga. Like, I'm good with stuff like that, but or even something like this, when I'll usually notice for myself when I'm really disconnected and I'm not answering honestly, or I'm just feeling like I'm not present with my answer, something like that, I'll notice that I need to slow down. And usually for me, sleep is a huge one. Because I have that anxiety and depression, sleep makes a world of difference. So like rest, sleep, checking out from people. I'm extroverted and introverted, like I go back and forth too. So sleeping, chilling out, being alone.
I think I saw specifically that you posted that on Instagram.
I slept this morning.
She did this afternoon.
At like 4 o'clock today, and then got up and rushed to get here. But I also, for me, nature and time alone. So I backpack, I hike, I'm really big on like long-term camping adventures on my own, things like that. My family hates it. My mom's over here like, oh my God, why? And my sister bought me a thing called a birdie for Christmas because she's like, if anyone tries to murder you, please pull
all
this
women
thing, so it makes a lot of noise.
all women who are on their own traveling buy a birdie.
Yeah.
There you go, birdie.
So that for me is probably my biggest one. It's just harder to get to because I really love those long extended backpacking trips. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's wonderful to hear. I think for everyone who's starting a small business, take those tips, or anybody who's just looking to do something like that. It's really important. Otherwise, you'll either explode or implode, and neither one of those are productive for running a business. So take those 5 minutes to get in child's pose, to just flip the energy, or take a couple days and disconnect and connect with yourself. So,
That's what yoga is so good for. It's just centering yourself.
Right, which is, and I like that this is the off the mat chat, because yoga doesn't have to, we all know that, not we all, but we know that yoga doesn't just happen on the mat, right? It's not just down dog. It is what you're doing in the moment and how you walk into the world.
It's such a practice.
Yeah.
You know that. You were both teachers. So I feel like you can take yoga wherever you go.
Yeah. That's a great thing that we've learned along the way. So,
for sure.
Do we have time for questions? What should we do now?
Do we have any Q&As out there?
No questions yet. All right, so we're going to open it up for questions. Raise your hands if you have any questions, or just drop a line. Throw a message in a bottle. Don't do that. It's not good for the earth. We have a question.
Oh my God.
Shout out to That Spooky Podcast. I stole that joke from them.
Is Michigan Tribe connected to or have roots from Michigan indigenous communities or philosophies? What is the company's name inspired from? So no, we do not have any connections, and it's something that we've talked about a lot. Yeah, making sure to make the right decision. I'll tell you how it happened. When I was running my previous business, which was called Wealth University, I closed it down
And we had what we call groupies. They know that's what they're called. They would not let it go, and they forced me to come and hang out with them a lot. And I love them. We're still friends now. So these groupies were in Boston, and I traveled out to Boston to do some events for them. And they called themselves Boston Tribe. It was just like a group of friends. That's what they called themselves. And that group is what my friend here in Jackson heard about and said, hey, will you come and do this for us in Michigan? So I went and started doing that. When all that happened, we came here to Lean Rocket Lab and said, we want to host our first event. And they said, well, what do you call yourselves? And the two of us that were in the room said, I guess you can call us Michigan Tribe for now because we don't know yet.
Right, okay.
Well, fast forward, we received a large donation and needed a nonprofit to be filed overnight. And we were in a huge rush, and that's what we had been called, so we filed it. So that's how the name came about. It wasn't a massive inspiration. It was kind of a pleasant mistake. It's really worked for us. And tribe to us means community, whether it's indigenous tribes or the tribe that we hold. So for us, that's where the name comes from and what it means. Yeah.
That's a really good question. I think can I tell who was asking these questions? I think it was Afaf. Thank you for that question. That was a really good question.
I'm so blind.
How can a woman who wants to start a business in Michigan connect with Michigan Tribe? How can Michigan Tribe help?
Oh, girl, we got you.
Is that Shay? Thank you for asking. That was a really good question.
So how Shay from Chicago?
This is Shay from Gary, Indiana now.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but Shay from Chicago,
What up, Shay?
Shay is going to be teaching at the studio.
She told me that.
Yoga on Kibby. So yeah, thanks Shay for being involved in this. We appreciate it.
And I get Shay, the first thing I would say is please sign up on our website, michigantribe.com. It pulls up right there. You just put your name and your email in there, and you'll start getting our emails anytime there's a resource out there or anytime we have an event coming up. And then you'll have first access to tickets. So if you buy your tickets in the first couple of days that you send out the email,
you're coming to town to teach for Kate.
Yeah, buy a ticket. Or honestly, our office is inside the Lean Rocket Lab. Amanda works out of here a lot. I'm here occasionally. Drop in, see if we're here. Amanda, Alex, just ask for us and we will do anything we can to help you on the spot.
The biggest thing I would say Michigan Tribe can do to help is we can create a community around you that supports you in growing your business. That's the biggest thing Michigan Tribe offers. We say community first, resources second, because we found that's the thing people find most valuable. So community first, resources are another big thing. So we are well connected to a lot of different resources in town. We know about the grants that are available. We also highly recommend, especially if you are in Michigan, but if you're not in Michigan, you probably have an SBDC. Is that
I'm sure they have a small business development center.
I know that Mass has one. Yeah, so we're well connected with the Michigan SBDC. We recommend that every business owner get connected with the SBDC. They offer free business consultations throughout the lifetime of your business. It's not like one and then they charge you.
If you haven't started your business plan yet.
Yes, so they'll do business planning, they'll do market research, they'll help you connect to grant opportunities, all those kinds of things. We're well connected with those people. We connect you easily and make recommendations of where to start in the journey with them. So resources and community.
I want to connect, or I just want to plug really quick the Jackson District Library they used to, at least in the past, hold small business or Michigan small business meetups, or they had something to collaborate with. Anyways, if you contact the Jackson District Library, I think that they have some connections, the reference department. So.
Very cool.
I see Ashley has a question.
Ashley says, can Michigan Tribe host a weekend women's retreat? Yeah, at your house, and Ben will serve us food. It's cool, Ashley and Ben.
No, but for real though, a lot of women have been asking us that recently, at least me. And that is one of the original ideas that we had.
Really, because we just want to travel and hang out with cool people. That's really
so honestly, I'm not going to say that wouldn't be something that would happen in the future, because it might.
Well, Cindy, who just mentioned something about yurts, did she say something about yurts?
Yeah.
So Cindy owns Great Lake Yurt Company. I think I said it right. Is that right, Cindy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
She's a yogi too.
They actually installed all of the yurts at what's the
is it Paradise
place in Chelsea? Yeah.
Grateful Crow.
Grateful Crow. Yeah. So if you shout out to Cindy, small business women. Yeah. What did she say though? You can. I can't see it. Can you guys see it?
You can host them at the
I'm
Yurt
blind.
up north.
Perfect. So if we go over, she has a place in Paradise.
Yeah.
Okay, is that what?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And she comes to Amanda's class. She's a yogi.
From Grass Lake.
Ours. Yeah.
It's a date, Cindy.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
She said yes. Are the questions and the answers live into the thing too, or we just?
You guys are pros, man.
Okay, wonderful.
Thanks for the questions, everyone.
The questions.
Great.
If anyone has any more questions, let us know. Even after this airs, if you see this and it's not in the live, and you have any questions for me with Yoga on Kibby or how Michigan Tribe helped Yoga on Kibby get its feet on the mat, get its small business started.
I have a question for you about
okay,
yoga,
sure.
What are you most excited about? I mean, I know you've been teaching yoga for a long time, so what are you most excited about having a brick and mortar space?
I am most excited about the teachers that are going to be teaching. I'm one of 6 teachers that are going to be there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we and the gifts and the things that they have to offer are just, oh my goodness, it's going to be. We have so many different classes, prenatal classes. I just can't even get into it right now.
Yeah.
But really, I'm just excited for the teachers that are coming in. So.
Do you have an opening date?
March 5th, we are going to open. Yay! March 5th is our grand opening. And then that's a Friday. So then from there on, we'll start the full schedule. So, yeah.
Excited.
I also, again, tables are turned. I am now the question
I warned her.
and the interviewer.
I warned her.
Yeah.
I hold the turntable.
But I know this story about you, and I don't remember if I saw it on your Indiegogo campaign or even on the website. I think it's important for people to know how Yoga on Kibby came to be. Like how you literally had to start a business during a pandemic. How did that happen?
How did I start a business during a pandemic? This is a lot.
No, like what prompted it to
like,
happen?
This is a great question actually, because I want to tell this.
Yeah.
I want to tell this story because it's really important to talk about how I got here and how we started. So I was teaching at Yoga Studio Deeply Art. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. Ave owned that studio, and she just decided it was time, not just because of the pandemic, but it was her next phase of life. So she decided to retire, and that was just a gem of a studio, a really community-driven space.
Yeah.
And I thought, if I don't do this, who else is going to continue this? And now I did it. There's no time like the present. So we were walking kind of around Kibby Cobb and Ironbark, and we noticed that space. And we used to, so I would drive by with my kids. I don't think I've told anyone this. With my kids in the car, and we would wave, "Hi, Yoga Studio," to a space that just had the for rent sign in it before we had even gone in, just kind of like setting the intention or whatever, putting in the universe. And I was like, there's the Yoga Studio, hi Yoga Studio, every time. And then now it's the Yoga Studio.
That's amazing.
So there's that, yeah. Awesome. And they still say it now every time we drive by.
That is the ultimate dream. What do we call
Good on you, mate, for stepping into an opportunity when it presented itself, because that is scary. And like we were talking about earlier, it's a lot to take on.
Right.
It's not just something that you're like,
sure, and
tomorrow it's easy.
like it gets harder when you say sure.
When Amanda said that it's it's a scary thing, you should be scared. She's not kidding.
Yeah, it's very scary.
It's very scary.
And I don't say that to scare people away. I just say that to be honest with people.
Right, yeah.
the most sincere.
And then there was a point though in this journey where I was like, I can't do this. I can't get a loan from the bank. I need a lot of this. I need this. I need time. I need things that I don't have. And my husband was like, it's okay. You don't have to do it. And I was like, yes,
Andrew,
I do.
the only time I'm unsupportive of the way you did this.
No, I'm kidding. He was, yeah. And I mean,
He just knew what he was doing.
He knows how I tick and how I turn. And that was another push. That was just, this has got to be. So.
Yeah,
and
that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Well, and it won't be the last time. It might have been the first time that it got hard and you considered quitting, but it definitely won't be the last. But each time
makes you more resilient. So you're doing it.
Truthful,
girl.
yeah, it's really
You're
true.
doing it.
Yeah.
So everybody go support the Indiegogo campaign.
Yeah,
them up
thank
to
you
their
everyone who's
goal.
already supported that. There's really fun things on there. There's a restorative yoga workshop if you are interested in some chill, relaxing, really supportive yoga. COVID precautions, we're following all the CDC guidelines. We require masks throughout the whole time. We are socially distanced. We have a huge space. If y'all haven't seen the space, I'm really trying to transition. I'm sorry, from just using the general term pronoun guys into, accompanying. It's just the way I speak is to say you guys.
Well, that's why
and
I
I'm
say
like,
y'all all the
shoot.
time. I'm always like y'all. And people are like, why do you say y'all? I'm like, because I don't want to say guys and I don't
I
want to
just
say
want to
gals.
be more, yeah.
And yeah, so I hear you.
We have 1,500 square feet. A lot of times I say 15,000 and people are like, did you buy a football stadium? Yes, I did. But it's 1,500 square feet and we really can easily socially distance. The ceilings are high. Yeah, it's a really safe and wonderful space. So.
And I would also encourage people who are watching who are small business owners or entrepreneurs who are considering doing crowdfunding campaigns or just are curious about it to go to it, because you and Andrew have done a really good job of showing what one looks like that's well run, because you're giving great perks that encourage people to give and maybe give more than they were expecting because they want the next perk. The video is great, like you said. Dave did a good job. So yeah, it's a fun journey. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
I feel like this might be just a natural end to our conversation, our off the mat chat. So again, thank you so much, Alex and Amanda, for coming on this off the mat chat. This is Michigan Tribe, and we're at the Lean Rocket Lab. If anyone has questions, visit their Instagram, Michigan Tribe, and website, michigantribe.com. And yogaonkibby.com as well.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you
everybody.
Thank you, Jordan.